on black soldier fly production as an alternative feed and protein source in livestock production. My name is EMK Sosu, the lead coordinator for ALFS, Ghana. So black soldier fly is a fly species which currently is found everywhere in the world. Initially, it was just native to the neotropical terrestrial ecoregions, which comprises basically of America and then the South America area. So as we speak, black soldier flies are available in Ghana. The objective of this introductory webinar is to introduce us as participants to this astonishing insect that can break down food waste and produce rich protein and food sources. As we all know, feed costs is about 70% of production in virtually all livestock rearing projects. And looking at the current trend of cost of feed, most farmers are making a lot of losses. So it's becoming important that we look for alternatives to cutting down on feed costs. And black soldier fly, interestingly, promises to be one of such ways of cutting down on feed costs in livestock rearing. And this introduction would give us more insights into this. Now, who are we? I'm talking about the AFLS Ghana team. So we are a diverse team of experts and researchers, and mostly in the agri and scientific sector. We are farmers and then also agro enthusiasts. We are trainers and consultants. Basically, that is what we are. What do? We do a lot of research into farming systems, alternatives, for sustainable alternative programs. We farm. Everybody on the team is a farmer. And then we train people as well, provide consulting services, provide technical backstopping services as well. How do we do this? We do it through training, train people, and then we empower them after our trainings. We provide support and technical backstopping as well. And then recently, we are introducing what we call the crowd farming or farm and share scheme, where people who want to farm but not have the time or other resources needed to farm would buy into our farming ideas or projects. And then at the end of the farming season, we do our profit and loss accounts, and then based on an agreement, we share the profit. Currently, we are about deploying some fish tanks under this scheme, where we're doing catfish under this scheme. Some of our programs and projects are the Black Soldier Farming Project, the IMO Piggery Project, IMO Backyard Poultry Project, Organic Catfish and Tilapia Farming Project, and the Biofertilizer Project. We also do backyard and commercial rabbit farming. There is a snail farming. We have a small-scale hatchery project, the rapid multiplication of plantain and banana suckers. Then we have vegetable production. A bit about the rapid multiplication of plantain and banana suckers. This is a technology where we propagate or multiply planting materials from one sucker. In brief, we take one sucker, manipulate and then be able to get a lot of materials from it for planting. I believe on our screen there is a picture like that. That is the first page. So we do that as well, where we actually do the planting and nest them. Currently, if you want to do plantain cultivation, you go to the farm, put suckers, go to your farm and replant. Here we set up a nursery where we actually multiply plantain and banana suckers under the scheme. Now let's talk BSF and BSFL. Insect farming to start with. Today, insect applications for food and feed are of strong economic and ecological and social interest. Despite there are tremendous potential, insects still elicit negative associations in the minds of consumers. This can be attributed to a lack of knowledge and scarce opportunity for engagement on the topic. And this is very prevalent in our society. Insect farming has still not caught on so well, and that's why we are doing this presentation.
Excuse me, can you raise your voice, please? We can't hear clear.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so BSFL farming, I hope I've not, okay, so insect farming, organizations such as the FAO have proposed a list of benefits and potentials of insect farming when compared to conventional livestock. Some of the benefits, which are environmental, okay, such as small environmental footprints. You know, when you do farming, you raise animals, you leave footprints, like ammonia emissions, the greenhouse emissions, and all that. But if you compare insect farming to these other farming, insect farming leaves a very small footprint and emissions. Now, there is low water requirements and then high feed conversion efficiencies. When you're doing insect farming, you don't use much water. We know how water is becoming very scarce now. Global warming is causing a lot of havoc, and water is becoming very scarce at the moment. And but you need a little water when you're doing insect farming. And then there's a high feed conversion efficiency compared to other livestock farming. Now, the health benefits are quite enormous. There are high beneficial fatty acids, rich fiber, micronutrients, and lower risk of transmitting zoonotic diseases in insect farming. Now, there is a livelihood and benefit and social benefits, such as minimal technical or capital expenditure, which is required in setting up an insect farm. Now, harvesting and farming can provide entrepreneurship opportunities for farmers. Now, BSFL farming aims to increase the potential of the insect Hermetia illucin, that's a black soldier fly. It merges the topic of waste revalorization or waste processing and then protein production. So the benefits here is dual. You actually process waste, which is also an issue with our in our environment, in our homes, and then you derive protein from farming black soldier flies. Now, it does this as a cross-link to circular economy. And it seeks to counter and eliminate the negative associations with insects, including phobia and skepticism. And then black soldier farming also seeks to create excitement for the topic through hands-on work with the insects. Now, over the last decade, the black soldier fly has experienced increased scientific attention. Why is this so? It's about the potential of it having a circular economy by addressing two environmental concerns, as I said earlier on. That's the waste management and the protein production. BSF breeding works all year round in the tropics. So Ghana, we are very fortunate. We are in the tropical area, tropical zone. So we can farm black soldier fly all year round. In other places, they apply artificial conditions so that they can do an all year round farming. That's why the colder areas. Now, the larvae hatch between 3 to 4 days after oviposition. Oviposition is when the male and female actually they copulate and the eggs are laid. The larvae hatches within 2 to 4 days. The larva develops for approximately 14 days in 6 larval instars, including the pupa stage. The instars are the growth cycle, the stages that the larva goes through, and it takes about 14 days. Now, temperature, relative humidity, food availability, and food composition influence the development time of the black soldier fly. For use as protein source, the BSF has advantages over many other insects. The BSF larvae are polyphagous, and can tolerate a high nutritional heterogeneity in their diet. To date, sustainable recycling of various organic waste, including pig manure, fish offals, fruits, vegetables, palm kernel meal, municipal organic waste, have been conducted. During degradation, BSFL digests, aerate, and dry organic waste, producing granules of increased pH and ammonia content that can be used as plant fertilizer. So during the process of recycling or degradation of the bio waste, it's the black soldier fly digests and aerates the waste and makes it dry, and then hence produces manure that it can use as a plant fertilizer. Now, growth rate, body weight of the main product, the BSFL, are dependent on the substrate feature. The type of bio waste that you use affects the body weight and the growth rate of your larvae. Environmental parameters also contribute a lot, such as the substrate moisture, the relative humidity, temperature, light, larvae density, and microbial symbionts. All these affect the growth rate of the black soldier fly. So when you want to cultivate black soldier fly, you have to consider all these things. Now, larvae are high in protein, that is 37 to 63% of dry matter. And they're also high in fat, that is 7 to 39% of dry matter. Content with higher concentrations of minerals, medium chain saturated fat acids, 67 total fatty acids, and the lower concentrations of polyunsaturated fatty acids, that's about 30% of that, compared to other insects which are used in managed feeding programs. Now, black soldier fly can be used alone as a dietary supplement. You can use them alone, feed directly to your animals alone, or you can also use it as a supplement or as feed additive. And they support good growth of poultry, swine, tilapia, and catfish. The immigration of full-grown BSF pupae from the food source is another beneficial characteristic. At this stage, the pupa starts to leave humid habitats. Now, when the eggs hatch, the eggs of a black soldier fly hatch, they actually hatch in your substrates, okay? As they grow into prepupa, they migrate out of the food source into a more humid habitat. Now, systems have taken advantage of this particular trait, which we call the self-harvesting habit, by providing ramps in their compost bins. So that will serve as an escape for the prepupa. Now, what they do is that they trap the pupa at the end of the ramp, they put a container, and then the larvae falls into it. So it serves as a self-harvesting habit or capability of the black soldier fly. And this actually reduces production cost or harvesting efforts if you apply such approach. Now, during metamorphosis and in their adult stage, black soldier fly source their energy from the larval-based fat body and do not ingest food. Hence, black soldier fly do not enter human dwellings and avoid contact with other animals, in contrast to, for example, the housefly. So when the black soldier fly turns into an adult fly, it actually does not feed on external food, compared to the housefly, which would always come close to human habitation, wanting to enter your food whilst you're eating and all that. The black soldier fly does not eat in an adult stage. All it takes is water. So because of this, they actually avoid human dwellings. When I presented this, somebody actually, we started doing the call, the advert for people to join. Somebody posted a concern and saying that, hey, this people are bringing are you sure it's not going to become invasive, like the way rabbits have become invasive in Australia and other parts of the world? Interestingly, black soldier flies under normal circumstances will avoid human habitations. And they also have another interesting feature where they actually eliminate houseflies. How do they do that? They secrete chemicals that prevent competitors to lay eggs on a food source that they have colonized. And if a housefly makes a mistake of trying to lay an egg where they have laid their egg, the black soldier fly larvae actually will feed on the housefly larvae. So the housefly will not be able to even develop. And I think that's a good point, because with that, you realize that you'll be able to reduce housefly populations. We look at, somebody's giving us a feedback. Now, this is a study that was conducted in Kenya and Uganda. Yes, Ghana, we have also done a couple of researches and studies. Institutions like Atomic Energy, they had a program where they studied black soldier flies. Some of the universities have also conducted researches, and some students have done some work on it. Animal Research Institute also has black soldier fly studies that they've done over the years. Now let's look at the statistics from Uganda and Kenya, which is quite interesting. So quality standards for compounding animal feeds with dry insect products was approved and launched in Kenya in 2017. And this has enabled small, medium, and large scale feed producers to integrate insects into feed production and create a market for women and young entrepreneurs. So now in Kenya and Uganda, I dare say that they are probably leading in Africa, and South Africa leading in how black soldier fly cultivation, and they are incorporating this into animal feeds. Some people have even done studies with humans consuming black soldier fly. I hear it's quite delicious. I am yet to try. So this insects used as protein source is expected to reduce the production cost of feed production by at least 25 to 37.5%. Now, to substitute 50% animal protein, additive in feeds with insects-based proteins, 45,000 metric tons of dry insects will be required per year in Kenya alone. So if Kenya wants to reduce or substitute animal protein in animal feed by 50%, they need about 45,000 metric tons of dry insects per year. Now this translates to about $36,000 US. And I hope we can all see that, I mean, this is a big sector and it's huge money. Now, the production of BSF in greenhouse of 5 meters by 10 meters yield 2 tons of fresh black soldier fly per month. So with a space of just about 5 meters by 10 meters, which is not that big, you can actually produce 2 tons of fresh BSF per month. And in Kenya, this is going to provide 22,500 new jobs in Kenya alone. And this is quite interesting. Replacement of 20% fish meal in conventional poultry feed with BSF resulted in higher, that's 53% egg production and improved quality compared to conventional feed. I believe this alone should motivate us to want to go into this. Fish meal is quite expensive. Now you get a black soldier fly meal, which is cheaper, but at the end of the day, gives you 53% increase in your egg production. Now, in pigs, various studies were conducted where 25%, 50%, 75%, 8% fish meal replacement was done with BSF. And interestingly, the weight and the blood profile and the growth rate were the same. There was no change at all compared to 100% fish meal. The growth rate, the weight gain, and the blood profile were all the same. Now, for catfish, studies showed that catfish fingerlings revealed that our 37% higher growth rate was observed in catfish when black soldier fly larvae was used in feeding them. And they also had a 23% higher weight gain compared to the conventional feed. Now, in tilapia, the studies revealed that tilapia actually gained about 23% weight or higher weight compared to the conventional feed. So this will tell you that, I mean, you stand to gain if you go into black soldier cultivation and also using that as a supplement in your animal production. And it serves, there is actually a whole industry that can actually come out of this. So insect rearing is a sustainable practice that can be carried out even from home with minimal requirements, required inputs, and is therefore ideal for women and the youth and men as well. Now, our program, our BSF and black soldier fly larvae training program, we seek to provide knowledge through innovation, training, consultancy, and support systems, as I said earlier. And our program is designed to be quite straightforward and is practically oriented. And the program is also such that it is easy to adapt it to different localities and to participants' needs. So irrespective of where you find yourself, our training is such that when you go back to where you are coming from or where you are, you will be able to actually apply all that you've learned. And we are also providing exhaustive materials which are prepared in a way to be used by non-scientists. As I said, we are scientists. We are all working in a scientific and research field, but we've made sure that the materials that we've produced are very, very down to earth that can be used by anybody who is not even a scientist or does not even have a science background. We've done our best to eliminate all the science or let the science go into the background. Yes, because the science is there. And we also ensure that we actually adopt and use materials and resources that are readily available. We've done this so that when you go back and you want to do your production, you wouldn't have challenges with costs. Yeah. Having said all this, we've also ensured that the program still follows a scientific principles of good practice, so that at the end of the day, you are actually dealing with live organisms. So we ensure that whatever we do follow very good practices so that we don't have any challenges at the end of the day. Now, the objectives of our training. We are hoping that at the end of our training sessions, participants should expect to gain practical knowledge and skill. And then you should be able to set up and run a BSF production unit at the end of our training. Now, what is the take home from this brief presentation? With all that we've said, we are hoping that if nothing remains with you at all, at least these points should remain with you, should be able to remember them. Namely, black soldier larvae makes a high protein, high fat, and mineral source of nourishment. Here, I would say for both livestock and humans, that is, if you are daring enough to try it. In fact, we are hoping that in the near future, Ghanaians and Africans will accept larvae production as a food source for humans. Currently, there is some work in what we call the akokuno, the rhinoceros beetle fly beetle larvae. Akokuno. I've tried that before, and it's quite palatable. It's similar to this, yeah. So the other thing is that BSF larvae, aside its high nutritional value, cuts down on feed costs in livestock farming. Now, black soldier fly larvae turns what is normally waste into a valuable farm and garden asset. BSF larvae is safe and can be prepared even for human consumption, as I said earlier. And this is so real because, as we said, I mean, the adult fly does not feed. All it needs is water. It does not feed on any food or take in anything. So it does not carry or transmit diseases. Yeah. And with the right knowledge and training, you should assure yourself that you can farm black soldier fly and black soldier fly larvae in captivity. The last but not the least, I want you to realize or have this in mind that with hard work and dedication, you can actually make a career out of black soldier fly larvae farming. So what's next? We say, don't wait. The time will never be just right. That is one thing with time. It's never right at any time. So you don't wait at all. Now we have 6 steps that we've outlined. And these steps, if you follow these steps, we assure you that you would be able to set up a black soldier fly production facility. Either if you want to use it as supplement for your own farm animals, like I do currently. I use it for my catfish, incorporate into my rabbit feed, and other farm vegetables that I have. So the first step is that you register for the BSF training, which is scheduled for the next one is for 20th and 21st of May. We train you, as you get trained, you get a starter or trial pack. So as part of our training, when you train, we give you a starter pack or a trial pack. This is about 250 grams of black soldier fly larvae, which will guide you to set up for you to have a feel of what you've actually learned. Now, the 4th step after you've tried your starter pack is that you join the ALFS Ghana Black Soldier Fly Larvae Support Program. So we have a support program which we expect you to join, and then with that we can actually support you in your setup and in your production. And then 5, you experiment the trial pack, and then 6, after a trial pack or after trial with a starter or trial pack, you upskill to the small scale production pack. So this is the brief steps that you can follow and go into black soldier fly production with us. And the training program is going to be online, but would have videos and tests and demonstrations to go with. It's going to be 2 days. The days are 20th to 21st May 2022. The fee is 550 Ghana cedis, which translates roughly into $74 or so. We also give you an e-certificate of participation, and then we'll give you the starter of the trial pack, which you would actually experiment with, and then we provide you with e-support as a participant. Now, the course content. If you enroll with us over the 2-day period, we'll be taking you through these subject areas. That's the introduction, the general introduction. So we also do introduction to the BSF bio-waste processing, the black soldier fly, we treat that, why the black soldier fly, engineering the black soldier fly life cycle, the safety and hygiene measures when working with black soldier fly and bio-waste, Then we look at the we look at the black soldier fly rearing process itself. So under that, we look at rearing the black soldier in a controlled environment. Then activities in the BSF rearing unit, the work scheduling and data management. So in this area, we would also treat or handle how to construct your setup, your breeding area. So now I also look at the BSFL conversion operations. So how you source for your bio waste, what type of bio waste you should use, the activities that the BSFL conversion unit goes through, the work schedules, monitoring, and data collection would handle all that. Then we also look at the post processing and marketing aspects as well, where it would help you develop your marketable products and activities that you have to go through during the post-processing unit, and monitoring, storage, and product labeling as well. Then number 6, which is also very critical, that is the business development, where we'll look at the cost revenue analysis and financial viability of the venture. Thank you very much. I hope this has been quite resourceful. At this time, we would take questions, and then we'll also look at the way forward. Thank you very much. At this point, we can actually unmute our speakers and ask questions.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
I think there are 2 messages here. Okay, let me take the online questions that came through the chat. Someone says, since they eat fruits, would they be a problem to raise them in a mango farm? Okay, so as we said, as I stated in my presentation, the adult fly, interestingly, does not feed. It does not eat at all. It does not eat at all. All it takes is water.
All right.
So your mango farm is not at risk. You can actually set up BSF fly in your mango farm. Yes, so you don't have a problem at all. I mean, in other fact, if you want to go into this, it will even be a very good practice from time to time to release a couple of flies in your environment. So when you do that, it helps you build a colony that you can always rely on. And if you do that also, it helps you control flies. If you listen to the presentation very well, I said that BSF actually helps control housefly populations. So if you have them in your environment, houseflies would hardly survive in that environment. Yeah. You are safe to have it in your mango farm. The next one says, how does one get the trial pack if it is an online training? Yes, this is very, very simple, especially if you're in Ghana. My worry is for those participants who are outside Ghana. Getting the starter pack to you would be a challenge if you're outside. But there is a program that we can take you through for you to develop your starter pack or your trial pack yourself, wherever you are. It takes some more work though, but that is the best we can do for you if you're outside Ghana. If you are within Ghana, we actually are in a position to send your black soldier fly trial pack to you wherever you are.
Correct.
From laying to hatching, it takes about 3 to 4 days. So we time and we make sure that, your black soldier fly larvae would not turn into flies by the time they get to you. Or even if they're turning into flies, you may not have so many of them turning into flies, and it's still an advantage to you. They will still get to you in a very good state. We make sure they have enough ventilation and all that. So we send it to you. Or you basically have to support us with the transportation. Alternatively, we have places, especially in Accra and in Kumasi, where you can walk in to pick your trial pack. As we support the training, would make all this information available to you. the next question, I want us to try and exhaust the ones that are online. So those who want to ask via the audio, kindly hold on. Let's exhaust this. Now, so is it? I am Martin Tenewa, BSF cricket millway farmer in Uganda. Okay, and that's your WhatsApp number. Glad to be part of this group. We are glad to have you also. So Martin, would you want to share any of your experiences with us? If you can, would love to hear your experience. Maybe that would encourage one or two people to also want to go into BSF in Ghana. We have Martin on the call.
Oh yes, I'm on presenter.
Okay. Yes.
Hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, and I believe that others can also hear you. Yeah,
thank you very much, presenter. As I'm Martin Tenewa in Uganda.
Yeah.
I specialize in breeding black soldier fly. I opened up my farm in 2020.
Okay.
And I rear 3 types of insects: the crickets for human consumption, as well as for pets.
Okay.
I also do mealworms. It's not yet for human consumption, but I do sell mealworms to game reserves for pets, like chameleon geckos. But my main venture is in black soldier fly, and I'm trying to scale it up. It is something that is low cost. You can use local available materials to do it.
Correct.
And I always train farmers to use it as an alternative protein source.
Correct.
For now, maybe we shall interact more. I can be able to share my story in the due course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome.
Mr. Martin, we are glad to have you, and thanks for sharing your experience. Ola from Nigerian, you are just joining. Oh, so unfortunate. We finished with the main presentation. So that we have recorded the session, would upload and then share the link. So later you can actually go through the presentation also. Okay, so the one say, I'm Lydia in Kumasi, Ghana. Can we access your office in Kumasi before the scheduled 21st May? Yes, so Lydia, yes, you can actually visit us, our Kumasi office. We are located in Kwauma. So you can actually come around and then we talk. But unfortunately, the office in Kumasi does not run 24 hours or typical 8 to 5. So you book an appointment and then we arrange for you to come. Yeah. Yes, so back to participants online who want to ask their questions verbally. I'm here myself. We have Mr. Manuel Kwachi, who is also a member of the team, also online.
Hello.
So I would give Mr. Kwachi a chance to give us a word.
Hello. Maybe people may be asking, are black soldier larvae fed live? Can they be fed live to poultry? Sure. Okay. I want to know.
Yes. So black soldier fly larvae can be fed live to poultry or to how do you call it? Any livestock that you have, fish and all that.
Okay.
You can actually feed them live larvae.
Okay. That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Danny speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to do organic snail, how do you go about it in a farm? I don't want that processed feed and everything. Just organic. Leave them there to breed themselves.
Yes. So in snail farming, I would answer this because it's part of our activities, although today's presentation is not on snail farming. So in snail farming, you can actually have there are various husbandry systems that you use, where you have the box, the trenches, and lately some have started the greenhouse system, where you build a greenhouse, you cultivate crops or feed sources in the greenhouse, then you release your snails in there. You can actually automate that also, and then you have a sprinkler system that will sprinkle water and ensure that you have the right humidity in the facility. Okay, so with that, you can decide not to feed the snails with compost feed or what you may term inorganic feed. But to venture into that, it means that your greenhouse must be ready and your feed source, that is the item that you plant, should be old enough or grown enough for your snails to actually feed on.
Okay.
And in fact, I also like to state that you can actually compose feed which will still be organic and still feed to your snails. So, for instance, if you do black soldier larvae, you can dry the black soldier fly larvae. You grind, and then you mix with your wheat bran, which we know is mostly from local sources, organic, and then with your other oyster shells and all that. So you can actually compose organic feeds as well. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's fine. But what about if we are living in the Volta region and I only do cassava and corn?
Yeah, so yeah,
can I plant like banana, cotomble and everything there and leave them there to grow? More about is it a season?
Yes, so you see, snails migrate. Okay.
Okay.
They don't know their boundaries, so to say. So if you leave snails in an uncontrolled environment, they will stray and move out. So you need a proper housing system that would ensure that you don't lose your snails.
So I need to fence my land or what?
You're wasting people's time.
I'm not wasting your time.
Sir, can we do this out of it? Was this
you're talking about BSFL?
Can you link up afterwards?
That is it.
Take my number. So anybody who needs my number, take my number. If you have something that you want to ask out of this, you can ask, so that we don't waste people's time, or not waste their time, but stray unnecessarily. Yeah. So my number is 054. If you are outside Ghana, plus 233 54 903 9032.
Come again.
So plus 233 54 903 903 again, and then 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my number. So you can call it and we discuss your.
That is Emmanuel. Okay.
Yes, Emmanuel, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Do you have any?
I would want to ask. Hello.
Yes.
I would want to ask if one wants to breed this soldier fly larvae for food to animal feed companies. Are there ready market in Ghana now? That because I've tried a few times and around my house, and I was quite surprised. I now want to upscale it and have a ready market for this.
Yes, so black soldier fly larvae is not entirely new, an entirely new concept in Ghana. I know a couple of farmers who know about this very well, but their challenge is how to get their supplies. The market, their supplies, not even the market, their supplies.
Okay.
The market is very huge and wide, and especially so because now the cost of animal production is going up, feed is going up astronomically. So, I mean, this is the time that we should actually look at alternatives. Okay. And now fish source is becoming very difficult. And you know, in agriculture also, you also need to develop a market. Okay. That is why we have the business aspect as part of our training. So we'll go into all that, how you can create markets for your product and also, you know, have people knowing about it. Mr. Bashi, you want to add something to that?
Yes, I want to add something to that. The marketing is not a problem. We have numerous feed mills, companies in Ghana that need a dry black soldier fly larvae to buy so that they will incorporate into their feed. So the marketing is not a problem. The production of the larvae is the problem. If you have 100 tons today, I can sell it for you today for your money. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Andrew?
Yes,
Robert
please.
Andrew has a question. So I believe the question has been answered.
Sure, thank you.
Yes, and as part of our support program also, we are looking at buybacks where those that we work with, we'll be ready to take your product and then resell and also feed as well.
Okay.
Yes, so you don't have a problem at all.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Do you have anybody else online who wants to ask a question? Sorry. Okay, so there is one question in the chat, and it says, can it also be fed to pigs? Black soldier fly larvae can be fed to all livestock. There is no limit. As we said in the presentation, even humans can take black soldier fly. It's happening in Kenya and in Uganda. Yes, so we don't have any limit. Once you can compose and incorporate in their feed, they will take it. And the protein source is very high. And it's also very profitable using it. Okay, so a question says, you have not told us how to trap the fly. And also after harvesting, how do you preserve it to stay over a period of time? Sir K, yes, Sir K. This presentation we did was just a form of introduction to the black soldier fly and the concept of farming it. And we cannot exhaust everything in just an hour. So the trapping and the preparation, the harvesting and all that would come up in the training program. We'll cover all that extensively in the training program. I hope that answers your question, Sir K. Do you have any other questions? Do you have any other questions? It's just about 8:06. I believe we actually made the time. And we'll be happy to hear from us. Maybe another 10 minutes if we have any questions. Anybody has any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Please, I would like to know how to process a good source of protein for poultry. I joined in late, so I just wanted to find out if you can be of help.
Okay, so as we said, this training webinar is basically about black soldier fly, introducing us to the black soldier fly and the farming concept. And the The webinar will be uploaded. We'll share the link so that you can actually watch later. There is a WhatsApp group that would also want participants to join. That would want participants to join. And that would help us carry on with this conversation. Now, processing protein for your birds. Black soldier fly is a very good source of protein. And part of our presentation, I'll try and look for that slide, where a study that was conducted and the results, you realize that for every poultry farmer, if you can actually go into black soldier fly farming, or you can source the black soldier fly larvae, you stand to gain tremendously. Okay, so it says a replacement of 20% fish meal. As you know, fish meal is becoming very expensive now. Yeah. And interestingly, most of the fish meal that we have around are actually, in a way, not 100% fish meal. They are basically from fish offcuts, the gills, the fins, and those are more of calcium. Okay, so this study says that 20% fish meal, okay, a replacement. So black soldier fly was used to replace about 20% of fish meal in poultry, and a 50% increase in egg production was realized.
Okay.
And the quality of the egg too was improved tremendously. So that tells you that, I mean, this something that you should go for.
Okay.
Yeah, just 20% to replace of fish meal, and you have 53%. So can you imagine what will happen if you're able to go 100%?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, that's great gain. And for those who are in piggery, a study was done where 25% replacement was done, 50% was done, 75 and 100% replacement was done. That's fish was the BSF was used to replace the fish meal, and the growth rate, weight gain, and a blood profile compared 100% to fish meal. There was no change. And remember, we said this would definitely come at a lower cost.
Yep.
Yeah. And for catfish also, it was used on the fingerlings, and there was a 37% higher growth rate and 23% higher weight gain was achieved. In tilapia, BSF feed-based gave a 23% heavier weight compared to the conventional feed. Yeah, and you can do all this in a very small space. As we said, 5 by 5, the 5 by 10 meter area should give you about 2 tons of fresh black soldier fly larvae per month. 2 tons.
Wow.
Yes.
So what is the substrate? What do you use to propagate the larvae?
Yes, so basically in production there are 2 phases, okay? The hatchery and then the production side. And we have different materials that you use for each based on on your target. But basically for the general propagation, you need your bio waste. The waste bio, yes.
Okay. For instance, any kitchen waste?
Kitchen waste, yes. Kitchen waste, market waste, they are all good. Okay.
Okay. Aquatic waste?
Aquatic waste, yes. Fish offals. You can use all that.
All right.
Yes. But basically, you should ensure that you don't have contaminants and chemicals.
Okay.
This will affect your outcome.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is Richard Susu speaking. Thank you.
You're welcome, Richie. So,
all right, thank you.
Interesting. I know people wonder why they laughed. Okay, so Richie is actually my big brother, and big ups to Richie. As a little boy, Richie actually nurtured me into farming.
Wow.
So, and we still farm together up to now. We all have farms. We grew up farming. Yeah.
All right, take care.
Yeah, Richard, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for the good work.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so there's another question. One is, aside from the training cost, what is the total cost to start this project based on the space dimensions you gave earlier? Wow. This is quite a loaded question, because I say loaded because cost of materials vary from place to place.
Different locations, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we may not be able to give a blanket cost of estimate for your production.
Okay.
Yes. But basically, whatever structure you need to put up will not break your pocket.
We use local materials.
Use local materials, very simple systems, and they will not break your pocket.
Correct.
So be rest assured that you don't have much to lose at all.
Correct.
In fact, you don't have anything to lose at all.
No.
Yeah, so that is why you need to come for the training, because at the training we'll tell you what to do and what not to do.
Correct.
So that you would be able to, break even when, at the very onset of your production.
Okay.
Do you have any other question?
I want to contribute something.
Okay, Mr. Pachi.
Yes, it is a very good something for especially the poultry farmers. You know, normally if you use the ordinary fish meal for egg production for the layers, what we realize is by 10 to 12 days, the eggs do go waste or spoil. But if you use the black soldier fly larvae as a protein source for your feed, we realize that the eggs takes more than 1 month to go waste. So it's an added advantage. And the yolk, if you look at the yolk quality, is higher compared to using the fish meal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a good point. I believe I mentioned that during the presentation.
Yeah.
That is when we look at it. So that's a very good one.